Hello, I'm Benjamin Goldberg, and today I'll be presenting my pop culture presentation over the TV show Suits. It's on Netflix, so I can't really play clips of it because the clips are copyrighted and behind. It wouldn't work out. I tried. So with that being said, I believe Suits shows the concepts that we covered of friendship and of the relationships between friends very well. So friendship, as the textbook would say, has to be voluntarily, and well, a defined characteristic is it's voluntary, and we see them spend a lot of time. Like it's very clear in the show that Mike and Harvey are friends, and they're explicit about it 4 times. But as before all that, they were we see in the flashback scene Mike's in travel when they were close friends. Their perception, Mike's perception of Harvey. So in the textbook, on page 111, it said that perception includes 3 bases: selection, organization, and interpretation. So we see Mike in the flashback in season 2, episode 8. We see Harvey walking by them is a selection. That's the environmental stimuli that causes it, and causes them to move on to organization. So we see the physical constructs specifically of the organization, where Mike says, "quote he looks like he has a walled up his A-ward." That's some profanity there, but we're not really going that. But that's a physical construct that is helping organize this information and organize his character and put attributes on it that he's, the way he's walking, the physical construct of how he's dressed, like the suit. And then Mike interprets that as he's just like an arrogant ego person, and Mike doesn't want to end up like that. And he straight up says, quote, "if I ever look like that, shoot me," end quote, because it's kind of like a reflection of himself, especially later on when they, like, Mike and Harvey consider themselves like basically the same person. But then timeline wise, they move on, they become great friends. Going back to that, we see that with the loyalty. That's really what Harvey in the show focuses on, with the loyalty of friendships like that. Like we see that once in season, and also in season 2, we see that after Harvey sees the loyalty being perceived as being broken, that he stops wanting to be friends with Mike. He refuses to interact, not just voluntarily, which is the defined characteristic of friendship, but he refuses to interact at all. And after he reveals to Jessica that without going to Harvey first, that some important characteristic. And yeah, it looks like that the textbook says that friendships have lifespans, and it looks to be like this is the end of the friendship. Like this is a sudden break and conflict that caused the friendship to be over. But I mean, it's a show. Afterwards, they get back together because yeah. So also in the textbook, it says friendships are governed by rules, and that's shown by the big rule of this friendship being loyalty, which by breaking, that's what ended the friendship. Well, temporarily, but still. And we also see that Mike, in terms of conflict, is of the friendship of, in terms to tries to avoid it, not avoid it, I mean accommodate it and be as accommodating as possible. Harvey, like, oh, come on, what do you need? Let me be your friend. He tries to win the cases. He tries to help out. And then, yeah, and also, before I went out of time, there's a scene of a poker scene where Harvey deceives Lewis in poker as he deceives Lewis in poker as mentioned in the Casino Center article. Bluffing is when you is an active deception where you actively try have like a high card, which is exactly what Harvey has. And he says, in order to convince the other person to fold your hand and so you win the pot. And we see him do exactly that to Lewis, going all in, which the article mentions you can do no limit hold'em. From experience, you can do no limit hold'em. He does, meaning that Lewis would either have to put in all that money, match the pot to, or he would have to go forward and lose the money he put in the pot. He forwards, he loses everything. So yeah, so he forwards and he just lost the money he put in the pot, and Harvey reveals that's a deception that he did on Lewis. So thanks for watching. I'm out of time.